The fact that we have 3 retro nights is screaming to me that the reverse retro, the old logo, will be making a return for a third jersey. What is up, Texas hockey fans? Welcome back to Clean Sheet of Ice, a Texas hockey podcast. We've got some news to actually talk about. It's not just kind of a fluff episode where we have nothing to talk about. We got the Stars signed a forward for their fourth line, presumably. They got physicality coming in. We got potential reverse retro jerseys making a comeback. Got a lot to talk about on today's episode of Clean Sheet of Ice, brought to you by Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. It's America's #1 Bloody Mary mix for a reason. It's the best in the game. Shout out to Zing Zang. Zang responsibly all summer long and into the hockey season. I'm your host, Stone Straitman, joined always by Dom Garcia. How we doing, bud?
You know, before I start off this episode, I just want to point out, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Stone has the best Stars hat collection. There was a tweet, maybe it was a week ago, I don't know, but Stone's Stars hat collection is unreal. And these reverse retros, man, woof. I'm ready.
Yeah, I got a new lid today. We'll have a new lid next episode as well. We're never going to stop acquiring hats. It's just not in my DNA. I can't stop. I won't stop. I will never stop.
I mean, his closet must just be Dallas Stars closet.
It's a disaster, and it's not just Stars. There's hats everywhere. They're all over the house. They're in my closet. They're in the room. It's a problem, but I'm not going to stop. I won't stop. I can't stop. Yeah, so new hat today. We'll have a new hat in the next episode. It's very similar, but it looks cool. News from the show, Clean Sheet of Ice. Last year, we were kind of throwing it up on my socials and my TikTok and my Twitter and all that kind of stuff. Clean Sheet of Ice now has a Twitter. So if you're into hockey news, into our clips, all that kind of stuff, Clean Sheet of Ice on Twitter, at Clean Sheet of Ice. We're launched. We're live. And if you subscribe to the show, give a like, throw a comment out, something like that, and follow our Twitter, I'll give a lucky winner this Wyatt Johnston card in the premium card case. I'll give that away to someone that subscribes to us and also follows us on Twitter. So make sure to hit that Twitter. I'll choose a random winner next episode to get that Wyatt Johnston card. So I'll just give that away. Follow us on Twitter at Clean Sheet of Ice.
Yeah, the momentum of this podcast, man, like to be a Houston-based company and to have this much of a fanfare for Texas's hockey team has been awesome. And this is just the trajectory we knew that would happen. I mean, the Dallas Stars, it's a fun team to root for, and we're glad that we get to talk about our favorite hockey team.
Yeah, it's been a slow off season. Just do a little giveaway. Got a Wyatt Johnston card. Maybe give away some other cards throughout the season, depending on what's going on. But haven't had a ton of news after that first month of the off season and into now. So it's starting to pick back up a little bit. It's August still. It's not September yet. Hockey's not back completely, but it will be back next month. But we did get some news this past week. Star signed forward Nathan Bastian to a 1-year, $775,000 deal. He's 6'4", 205 pounds. Scored 10 points last season in 59 games for the New Jersey Devils. Played 5 postseason games. It's not a flashy signing. It's not a crazy signing at all. But what I read in the press release email from Jim Nill kind of told me everything I needed to know about this signing. If this was just a tryout or just kind of fluff for the fourth line. Nathan will add forward depth and physical presence to our lineup, both of which will be valuable to our organization, said Jim Nill. We're looking forward to watching him take the next step of his career with the Stars and are excited to welcome him to Dallas. So this guy's on the team. Bastian's on your team. He's an enforcer. He's going to hit people. He's going to be a pest. He's going to get after Darnell Nurse like no one else did on the Stars last season during the postseason for Roope Hintz injury. He's going to take care of that. That's what I see this guy as. He'll be kind of just on the regular season team. If he's on the playoff team, that'll be different. We'll see. But a big physical presence to add a little bit of nastiness to the group that we saw with Liam Bichel last year, that we see with Mush over the last few years. And he's just adding to that fourth line, which is going to be very large this year in comparison to last year where everyone was 5'8".
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 6'4". I don't know if he's left or right-handed shot, but I do know he's
a right winger. So
right winger. Okay. He's super versatile. He played all the special teams in his last season. And, he's going to be a healthy scratch here and there. But to have that size is something you're going to need in a long 82 game season, and especially in this Western Conference. So, he's going to bring exactly what you want in that back end, in that, there's going to be some nights where something's going to happen, someone's going to get boarded, and we need a big body to go out there and send a message. And, stick handling's not bad either, but to lay 138 hits last season, I think that's going to play well for this Dallas Stars team. And like you just said, we had to get bigger. We couldn't have these, 5'8" guys, love the energy they bring, but we needed some bigger bodies. And now when you look at our roster, like, boy, there's some big dudes.
Yeah, I think they're trying to lean into the physicality aspect as opposed to the finesse aspect that we've had over the last 3 years with Pete DeBoer as our head coach. I think they're trying to get bigger and they're trying to get stronger, hit harder. I think they're leaning into that. Goalie, the new head coach, Glenn Gulletson, mentioned that in his introductory press conference. We want to start that from game 1. We don't need to start that game 82, which was a direct shot at Pete DeBoer's system, I think. And just like, it wasn't a direct shot, but it was just like, hey, this is what this team is known for across the league. Where he was at the Oilers organization for the last few years, they knew that they weren't super physical. He needed that in his lineup, and Jim Nill followed suit. Got a couple of guys in there, got Foxa back, and you got Bastian now. You still have Bischel. Full season of Bischel is going to be a lot of fun. You still have Jamie Benn and Colin Blackwell and Oscar Beck. Like, you've got bigger dudes on the team, and then you still have the finesse at the top on the top lines. So I think they're trying to be a mixed bag of things. Like, they're still going to be a finesse team. They're still going to drive to the net and all that kind of stuff. But I think they have more ability to do that this year at will, as opposed to last year where they kind of had to force it. I think it's going to be kind of natural heading into the season. They're going to drive to the net. They're going to hit hard. They're going to play the physicality aspect all season long, as opposed to just when the playoffs pick up.
Yeah. And, making a comparison to the NBA, like, I watched my Houston Rockets beat people off of just defense and rebounds. And that works great in the regular season, but the Stars, they have the skill to beat you in the postseason. They have the playmaking. But now when you add that physicality, it wears teams down. This was a move that I'm very interested to see, because it's, a mid-level contract, bare minimum. But I see him making big contributions throughout the length of the season.
Yeah, he played 59 games last year for a Jersey team that made the playoffs. So they weren't very good, but they had a ton of injuries. And I think that was kind of what happened to that team. I don't think they were crazy good, but I think they were in a position to at least win a round. And they didn't. They had too many injuries heading into it. But playing 59 games there, I think that's going to be kind of the ballpark that he's in again this year. I think you're going to have Blackwell. You're going to have Oscar Back. You're going to have kind of the pick of the litter for the fourth line. And if injuries happen, then you're going to be slotted in on that fourth line pretty guaranteed. And if he's a good PK guy, I think you can throw him out there, and you just got a gambit of people that can play on the PK. Your power play is pretty much set. You don't have to worry about that. As long as you're hitting people and being more physical from game 1 as opposed to game 82, game 83, and heading into the playoffs, I think that's going to be huge. Because last year during the playoffs, we got out hit every game, it felt like, in the playoffs. And the games that we were within 5 hits or 10 hits, we won those games. If we were outside of that ballpark number, we lost those games. So I think they're just trying to do that in the regular season to start. They're just going to start hitting people, and we're going to be a physical team along with the finesse and the skill and all that kind of stuff. Jim Nill's huge on skill. We know that. And Pete DeBoer was massive on skill. And all he wanted was skill. Now I think we got a good mix. I think kind of your top 2 lines is still very finesse and skill based, but then the bottom 2 lines, 3 and 4, are you got a little bit of skill. I think Sam Steele's a really skilled player. Maverick Bork, Jamie Benn, like, you've got skill on the bottom 2 lines, but they're very physical down there. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no. Thinking back on last season, I remember Mikael Granlund was leading our team in hits in a few of the playoff games. Like,
yeah, he threw 9 one game, I think.
Yeah.
I think the game that he had a hat trick, I think he threw like 9 hits.
I mean, the boys on the ice, when they got called upon, they threw the hits, but some of them didn't really have the bodies to do it. And now, this season, we have a couple of guys that are capable.
Yeah, during that postseason, I remember it was one of the home games. I can't remember which game it was, but Robo and Wyatt threw back-to-back hits on 2 different possessions in the offensive zone that I was like, oh boy, they're throwing hits tonight. So if you're already physical and then those guys get into it in the playoffs and they're throwing hits, then it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more synchronized across the board. Everyone kind of has one mission. Everybody knows what their job is in the playoffs. But if you're doing that in the regular season, I think that's a very big added value to the Stars for games 1 through 82. I mean, they won 50 games last year. They've won 50 games 2 years in a row, I believe now. And they win a lot of games through this system, but I think they're going to change the system a little bit. They're going to tweak it a little bit. They're going to add to it. And it's going to look a lot different this year than it has in the past.
Yeah, no, 100%. And there's so much continuity in the locker room, though. Like any change, they're just going to adapt extremely quick. They're so seasoned now, so many years in Western Conference. Like, if there was a team that could handle like a style of play change, it's the Dallas Stars team.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be clunky at all. I think it's going to be a lot of similarities to the way that they play on the perimeter and everything, but I think there's just going to be more driving to the net like we had when Joe Pavelski was here. And I think everybody's going to be in tune on that, and then we're going to be more physical. So I think it was a good signing. It's not a flashy signing by any means. Like, no one's going to say, oh, Nathan Bastian, he's going to be the X factor for the Stars. But I think he's going to add something at least in the regular season for this team to stay healthy, be an enforcer, make sure he stands up for teammates and stuff like that in the regular season that we don't see very often from the Stars teams of the last 3 years.
Yeah, no, and if he just does that, I mean, it's for $700K.
Yeah, league minimum.
Worth it. Yeah.
So Nathan Bastian signs with the Stars, 6'4", 205-pound right wing forward. He's going to slot in on that fourth line for sure. Before we get into more Stars talk, I want to mention something. Apollo Media. We're all football fans here in Texas. Everybody loves football. I get it. This isn't a football podcast, but Apollo Media is doing a fantasy football league based around content this year, presented by Pretzelized. Pretzelized is it's a snack. It's your two favorite snacks in one. It's a cracker and it's a pretzel, all in one. Love Pretzelized. Been talking about them with them for a few months now, and got to know them a little bit in Miami last month when I was there. And yeah, we're going to do a fantasy league presented by Pretzelized. We're going to live stream the draft. Every team is going to be a podcast from Apollo Media. Clean Sheet of Ice will not have a team this year. Maybe next year that we'll be able to do that. Dom does work for the Texans, so he couldn't participate. But he's going to be our head referee during the draft on August 28th. We're going to be live streaming it from Apollo's YouTube. So make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Pretzelized is going to be sponsoring the entire league and the draft, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Zero Gravity. I'm on the Zero Gravity team, our NBA podcast. So every podcast has its own team. Beyond the Diamond, Zero Gravity, Get Back Coach, Off the Gridiron. Like, we got all the teams in there. We got 8-team league. One team is going to be Pretzelized, and then the rest of them is going to be all of your favorite personalities from Apollo. So tune into that August 28th live stream. We've got some draft content coming your way next week, announcing the league on socials, but just want to give everyone a little sneak peek there. Apollo Fantasy League presented by Pretzelized. August 28th, live draft.
Yeah, and if you know anything about our platforms, is when we all get together, it turns into the Three Stooges. So if you want a night of fun, you want to just relax and see some tomfoolery, it's going to be a draft you're not going to want to miss.
Yeah, and if you have a favorite podcast and you want to root for that team throughout the year, you're going to be able to participate during the draft by sending super chats. You'll have the opportunity to steal a draft pick or select a person for the team, a player for that team. You're going to be able to select that during the draft through super chats. So you're going to be able to participate. We'll be giving away a bunch of stuff from Pretzelized. We'll be giving away some Apollo stuff throughout the draft. So make sure to tune in. Football's almost here. So it's a week out from the season. August 28th is when our live draft's going to be presented by Pretzelized. So we're excited to get into it. It's going to be a fun night, and hope everybody tunes in for that.
We're not going to want to miss it.
Nope. It's going to be a good one. So with this Nathan Bastian signing, I looked at the forward group and I wanted to do a lines projection. What I think the lines will look like heading into the regular season. This is based off of what I know about the team, that I knew about the team last year. This is kind of how I saw the team landing after the Bastian signing. Top line. Robo, Jason Robertson, Rupe Hintz, mikkorantanen. I don't think you mess with it. I think they had a lot of chemistry building later in the season, and then obviously Robo gets hurt, and then he's kind of up and down in the lineup in the rounds that he came back in. So I think that's the first line heading into the season. I could be wrong. I could be Wyatt. I think Wyatt Johnston could be the top line center there, possibly, depending on what goalie wants on that top line. But how I see it is Robo, Rupe, Mikko.
Yeah, no, it was too good not to, like, the success and the clicking at the right times. trying to stop that line is just a nightmare. And that would be my first line. But the idea of Wyatt Johnston being on that first line is also very intriguing. It will happen, but maybe not this season.
I think it'll happen during the season at some point, depending on injuries and lineup changes and who you're playing and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think it'll be a regular one to start. The thing with this line is that both of your wings are elite scorers, top of the top elite scorers. Rupe is one of the best two-way centers in the game. He plays defense really well. He's one of the fastest guys in the game. He was playing on a fractured foot and almost caught Connor McDavid on a breakaway. Like that's not a real thing. Like that doesn't happen. So I think that line's pretty much set in stone for me. Obviously goalie's going to have his way with it. So we'll see if that's what we see during training camp and through the preseason games and into the regular season. That's the top line. Second line, Matt Duchene on the left wing, Wyatt Johnston centering, Tyler Seguin on the right wing. That's how I see this team fitting in with Mikael Granlund gone and Mush gone. I think Duchene now makes the move to left wing, and all three of those guys can play center. So depending on the faceoff dot, one of them will be on the wing, one of them will be centering that possession, that kind of stuff. I think you got a lot of versatility and a ton of skill and scoring opportunities with that line. I think that's where I would do it. Obviously, not the coach, but Duchene, Wyatt Johnston, Tyler Seguin.
Duchene on the left side. If you know anything about Matt Duchene, like the way he sets up assists, he probably benefits from being over there, if I'm being honest. The positioning he has, he can play with anybody. We learned that last year. And to have Matt Duchene on your second line, you know what that means, Stone? It means you have a fantastic fucking hockey team.
Yes. Yeah. Best contract in hockey. Can't wait to say it again this year. Wyatt Johnston will have a say in that, though, with best contract in hockey heading into the season. But this line is all versatile. Like they can all play center. They can all play every wing position. Seguin obviously is a right-handed shot, so you kind of need him on the right side. Duchene does like to bring the puck in to the entry zone on the right side of the ice. So that could be a problem. I don't know, but I think every player on this line could play every position on the line. So depending on the matchup, depending on where the faceoff is, like you can kind of mix and match there, but I think it's a lethal line. I think it gets a little bit younger. I know Mush isn't old, but different style of play and a little bit more finesse, but I think that line works and just depended on chemistry because Wyatt's been bouncing around lines since Joe Pavelski left. He was all over the place last year. So if you could have him kind of one set line without injuries and everything, I think that's the line you put him on.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And any line he's on is also lethal and could score at any moment. And I love it.
Yeah, I think last season we had a lot of skill on every line. I think it's a little bit less skilled, but geared towards other things. I think it's going to be fun. The third line, I have Jamie Benn on the left wing, Sam Steele in the middle, and Maverick Bourque on the right side, right wing, right shot. I think it's a fun skilled line. I think you have Steele and Bourque there for speed and skill with Jamie Benn, because Jamie Benn at this point in his career, I believe, is primed for a fourth line spot. Minutes wise, game log wise, that kind of stuff. Like we saw last year, it started to tail off and he started to hit more people. He started to play defense a little bit harder, trying to get in front of the net a lot more. I think this is a good line. I don't think it's a crazy line, but if Maverick Bourque makes a jump, if Sam Steele does what he did last year, but has third line minutes instead of fourth line minutes, you're going to get more production out of him. I think it's a fun line. It's a little bit smaller, but you got Jamie Benn there to enforce because when Jamie's with Wyatt and Wyatt gets hit, Jamie's going to go hit somebody. If Steele or Bourque goes and gets hit with this line, Jamie Benn's going to go hit that guy. Like you got that aspect, but it's skilled and fast with Jamie Benn on the left wing. I think mitigates what he can't do anymore in his age, and kind of he adds the element that Steele and Bourque aren't going to be able to add to the game. So I think it's a fun, well-balanced line.
Yeah, no, and this line, like last year's Stars team, it felt like just an all-star team of like, hey, you got talent, go out there. You got talent, go out there. This line that you just put out kind of just has a purpose. And Jamie Benn moving down there kind of feels like Carlos Correa going over to third, and just his mentality of I'm not the shortstop anymore, I'm the third baseman, kind of relaxes him a little bit and kind of bookends one part of his career to the next. And I mean, Jamie Benn's been playing hockey forever, but if he knows his role is to just carry the torch onto the next lines, that's kind of perfect. And yeah, like this is going to be a line that will wear you out. This is going to be a line that you take your foot off the gas pedal because you have so much talent in the first and second line. You'll be in trouble. And I like the idea of not being as all-starry feelish and having a unison line, like we have a job to do. And that's what this third line feels like.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of fourth line qualities. Like they're grinders, they're going to get to the stuff, and then Bork and Steele honestly have top line talent. It's just whether they convert on that essentially and turn it into top line talent. So you got a good mix of everything. I mean, Jamie Benn said it to Wayne Gretzky in the locker room last year after they beat Winnipeg, I believe, when Wayne Gretzky went into the locker room, and he was like, I'm just a checker now. Like, Jamie is not going to be one to be gripey about playing time, or if he makes a mistake and he gets benched for a little bit. Like, he's not going to be pissed off about that. He understands that all he wants to do is win the cup. And if he can help the team win a cup in a certain position, he wants to be in that position. So don't think you're going to have any problems there. I think getting Steele a few more minutes, like, because last year he's playing probably what, 11 to 15 minutes. Now he's going to play 15 to 17 if he's on the third line. I think that's beneficial. I think that gives Bork a little bit more stability with this line and more playing time as well. So I think this line could be really good, like a real quality third line right there. It's not going to be flashy. It's not going to be crazy, but there's a lot of skill on there, but they know their job, and they're going to be grinding it away like a fourth line would, but on the third line with more minutes.
Yeah, no, like this line's not going to hit home runs, but they're going to hit some doubles, and they're going to hit a lot of doubles. I like the pairing that this line would bring, and I like the style of play that they'll play with.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Steele was our best player in Game 6 against Winnipeg.
Yeah.
I mean, he's legitimately the best player. He was everywhere. He scored. He had the breakaway to get the penalty at the end of the game. Like, he did everything that game. So I love giving Sam Steele more minutes. I like Bork on a third line right now. If things go well and Seguin starts to tail off a little bit, I think you could switch them a little bit. But I like Sam Steele on the third line. I'm fine with Jamie Benn on the third line. Fourth line, where it gets a little full. It's a lot bigger this year because last year you're running out back, Blackwell, Steele. It's a very small, not super physical, but will be physical with you. Line, I think this year it's going to be completely different. It's going to look a lot different. You got Colin Blackwell. I put him on the left wing. He's a right-handed shot, but kind of plays wherever you need him to on the fourth line. Radek Faksa as your center. He's a great center. He's a big body in the middle on the faceoffs. He's stingy on defense. Like, he knows his positioning and all that kind of stuff. This line isn't going to be crazy points-wise, but I think it's going to do something for your team. And then I put Bastian on the right wing to start a game. I think that's my line. Blackwell adds your speed and everything. Bastian's your enforcer, and then Fox is a big, physical, smart hockey player that will be able to do a lot of things for you. I think the fourth line it's different this year. It's going to be a different feel. They're still going to be just as physical. They're going to grind just as hard. But I think having that fourth line adds an element that you were missing last year with just sheer size. And then you still have Blackie just running around killing people for no reason. I love Colin Blackwell.
Yeah, no, I mean, this feels like a real fourth line in the sense of, like, they're going out there to be stingy. They're going out there to intercept passes, and they're going out there to hit you. And Faksa, I'm more excited than I should be. Like, for him to be, like, it's not like anything crazy, but just when I really thought about it, like, he was not on my mind at all when we signed him. And I was like, oh, wow. And I had to go back and remember, like, his style of play and what he did. He's going to fit so nice in the role that they're going to give him. And yeah, I would love to see a couple of these guys drop the gloves. And now we got a fourth line that I'm not afraid to drop said gloves.
Yeah, I think that's a really fun team. And fourth line, obviously Oscar Back is right there as well. If Colin Blackwell and Bastian are playing, they're just kind of platooning each other on the right wing, I think that's a very real possibility. And Oscar Back's your left wing on that line. Obviously, Faxa and Back are both left-handed shots, and then Blackwell and Bastian are right-handed shots. On the fourth line, I don't know if it matters too much. I think Blackwell can play either side. I don't know about Bastian yet. We'll see more in training camp and preseason and all that kind of stuff. But Back as well, he's a great fourth liner. He plays the PK. He does a lot of things really well. He's not going to be showy in any way, shape, or form, speed-wise, physicality, scoring, but he does all those things well enough to where if he's on the ice, I'm not afraid of him being on the ice. There's been players in the past where I'm just like, oh God, why is he on the ice? Why is he in the lineup? That kind of stuff. I don't have that feeling with anyone on this team going into this season. So I think they're really well set up, and they're a little bit different, a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical. So they may be a little bit slower. They may be a little less skilled on the back end, but I think that's my forward line projection. So Robo, Rupe, Mikko on the top line, Duchesne, Wyatt, Sagan, second line, Ben, Steele, Bork, third line, Blackwell, Foxa, Bastian, fourth line with Oscar back as your extra. And you can kind of interchange back, like I said, with Blackwell or Bastian there. So I think they're really well-rounded. I think they're going to be really good this year. I obviously said that last year heading into the season. They were really good. They were one of the 4 best teams in hockey last year, and they just didn't get over that hump. Maybe this is what it does.
Yeah, no. Going into this year, I think the theme of this team is just going to be units. We have units. We have that first line. We interchange with each other. And then that third and fourth line, you can kind of say the same thing. And it's just all about who's healthy, who's playing great hockey, and who's playing mistake-free hockey. And that kind of divide in this team is going to fit well going throughout that whole season.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. Obviously, we didn't talk about defense today. We'll do that next episode. Whenever we come back, we'll kind of do a defensive pairing projection, see what's going on. We have like 6 left-handed shots and 2 right-handed shots on defense, so that's still a problem. But when you have Miro Heiskanen and Thomas Harley, everything's going to be all right. So
yeah,
we'll talk about the defense next episode, but that's kind of the forward line prediction after the Nathan Bastian signing. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know if it's Bastian or Bastian, but Nathan Bastian. That's what I'm going with. We'll figure out here in September when I get to go meet him. But last thing before we go, Stars theme nights and giveaways were announced on their Instagram and their social media pages over the last few days. I'm excited for this one, Dom. I'm really excited. Obviously, I have the hat on right now. Retro nights, plural. There's 3 of them, November 28th, 30th, and January 23rd. There's retro nights. So they did a retro light night last year, I think in March or April. I can't remember when, where it was all throwback logos on the video board and all that kind of stuff. And everything was like 80s and 90s kind of with the music and the graininess on the scoreboard and all that kind of stuff. The fact that we have 3 retro nights is screaming to me that the reverse retro, the old logo, will be making a return for a 3rd jersey.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's the Dallas Stars do the best job at kind of poking the bear and getting us wanting more and more. And then when they finally, unveil everything, it always ends up like exactly what we want. And it's that reverse retro logo, man. I missed out. You have the Jamie Benn. I think it's a Jamie Benn jersey.
The Tyler Seguin white one, yeah.
Sagan, yes. Anytime you have that star on a sweater, it's a must-have. Like
it just pops, man.
It's
does. So good.
And my wallet is going to hate me because shout out to my brother Cameron, who kind of said, hey, I have a free weekend on the 30th. Fun fact, my brother interned in Ottawa for the United States consulate. And so he kind of followed the Senators to a T, but I said, hey, do you want to go back to a Stars game? I have a free weekend on the 30th. When the Senators play, I'd love to go. I was like, yeah, sure, I'm down. We found some tickets. And this was before that announcement was made. So once I saw this, I was like, ooh, I think, sorry, wallet, but $500 might be lost that night.
I've been waiting patiently for the new 3rd jersey. As everyone else on this podcast that's tuned in this whole season, last season, knows that I don't like the blackouts. I've been ready for a 3rd jersey. I've been wanting the reverse retro back. If everybody in the world in every sport just went back to their original logos or their second logo, I think the world would be a better place. I think everybody would be a lot happier. But if we're getting a reverse retro jersey as our 3rd jersey for the next 5 years, I am beyond all in. I've been waiting to get the Mikko jersey, possible Jake jersey, once the 3rd jersey comes out. So when that comes out, I will be purchasing one of them if it is a reverse retro. If it's not, and it's something really cool and it's great because I love the logo on the blackout jersey. I just don't like the coloring. Essentially, is really all it was. I didn't like the neon. I used to be a big neon kid back in high school and stuff, but now I don't wear neon anymore, so I didn't want the blackout. If we're getting a reverse retro, I'm beyond all in. I just need that. And the fact that we have 3 retro nights throughout the duration of the season, I know it's kind of in a 2-month span, but 3 retro nights screams to me that we're getting a reverse retro, that we'll wear it on certain days or certain nights or whatever. And that November 28th will be the first game that we wear it.
Yeah. And, we may have some friends in the know and they don't say anything ever, as they should.
Right.
But it just kind of builds the excitement even more because when they're quiet, it's when something is being done. And it's got to be it's got to be some kind of unbelievably beautiful sweater that will be in both of our collections.
Yeah, I was told by someone in the Stars organization last season during right before playoffs or during the playoffs that the reverse retro was in consideration for the 3rd jersey next year, the black one with the green sleeves, the prime jersey. I didn't buy one. I didn't pull the trigger back then, and I'm so upset that I didn't pull the trigger back then because you can't find them anywhere, and if you can, they're $500-$600, and they're authentic, and I can't find my size. So if it happens, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm just doing it, and I'm not even gonna think about it, and I'll think about my bank statement later. But retro nights are back. We got 3 of them. Then last thing, we got a bobblehead night. Only one bobblehead night was announced. There could be more throughout the season. I don't know. I've heard a lot about the bobbleheads. I know fans were upset that there weren't a lot of bobbleheads at all these games. A lot of behind the scenes stuff. It sucks that there aren't 18,000 bobbleheads when you show up for a game. But I get it. I get the logistics behind it. I get that there's got to be profit that's made. You can't just be giving away bobbleheads left and right. You got to make enough money to buy the bobbleheads and then give them away for free. I understand that. But Mikko Rantanen gets his first bobblehead with the Dallas Stars on November 4th. That is going to be a hot seller in Dallas. Everyone's going to be lining up for days, it feels like. I mean, that line down the block for the Wyatt Johnston one was egregious. I saw that line when I was walking in the stadium. I was like, I'm not getting one of these. Like, there's no shot. There's no shot I'm going to find one. I did. It's up there. But Mikko gets his first bobblehead with the Stars November 4th.
Yeah, no, and I think it was the Jake Ottinger bobblehead that really like kind of
too.
it kick-started the showing up like at 5 p.m. and just like I think the people that were in line, the last couple of people that got their bobbleheads, I think they missed like the puck drop. Like that's how long it took. And we get spoiled here in Houston with all the Astros bobbleheads. But the Dallas Stars, every single bobblehead, I mean, Stone's got almost all of them back there behind them. I see why people stay in line because they're a piece of work. And Mikko, man, that would be a nice one to have. I mean, yeah. I'm starting a little collection down here, but to have a Mikko one, that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that'd be great. The Jake one, I think people were showing up like 2, 3, 4 p.m. for that one. The Wyatt one, which was like a week or two later, was the one where people were showing up at like noon or 8 a.m. Like to sit in line outside of AAC. And it was April, so like it wasn't cold outside. Like it was starting to get warm, and like you're just outside all day waiting on this bobblehead. And that's when you had to scan your ticket for the game to get the Wyatt one. And then that stopped working because they've already scanned the ticket. So then they had to do away with that, and they just had to show the tickets. It was chaos all around. I hope the Stars organization kind of understands like, hey, what we're going into bobblehead wise, we need to figure this out and we need to do it right. And I have a feeling that they will. They're a great organization to the players, a great organization to everyone that works there. I think they kind of understand like, hey, we kind of missed the mark last year on the bobbleheads. Let's do it right this year for all the fans and all the people working to give away the bobbleheads and everything. Like we don't need chaos. We just need to make sure everybody gets a bobblehead and everybody gets to go home happy.
Yeah, no. And a Mikko Rantanen one would make me very, very happy.
Yeah, I'm going to figure out how to get one. I don't know how I'm going to do it this time, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to get a Mikko one up there with the rest of the crew up there. So, yeah, we had Stars news this past week, and it's going to be really slow heading into training camp. Until training camp starts, there's not going to be much, I don't think, to talk about. The roster is pretty much set. They're $400,000 under the cap. There's not really any other moves to make unless there's a trade that kind of comes out of nowhere. So we'll see. Not a lot of news heading from there. But next week, we'll preview the defensive pairing positioning. It's going to be an interesting defensive group. I think it's still going to be a good one, but it's going to be interesting to talk about and kind of have the thought process of what a lineup really looks like with that defense. But forward line looks awesome. I'm excited about that one to see what they look like on the ice as opposed to just on paper. But Dom, you got anything left to say? I don't think I have anything left.
I just think, with this last signing, it just feels like this team is, because the whole offseason, there were so many questions. I mean, will Matt Duchene come back? Jamie Benn, what number is it going to be? And somebody told me this, I don't know if it's true, but the pay discount that Jamie Benn gave from 1 year to the next in AAV was like the biggest in the entire league, which speaks to Jamie Benn, but also speaks to, man, Jim Nill as a salesman. The amount of guys he got on less than $1 million is nuts. But yeah, I think, this week it kind of felt like the team is set. We are done kind of thinking about, how this cap's going to work. We're done thinking about, we don't have a first round pick until forever. But it kind of feels like this is the Dallas Stars team we're rolling with until maybe the trade deadline. And even at the trade deadline, I doubt there's anything that we can do, but we'll see. But this feels like the Dallas Stars team. And then once they get that chemistry flowing with a new coach, they'll be ready to roll. And this is the team that's going to try and finally break through the West.
It's going to be a fun team. They're going to be one of the best in the West. They're going to be one of the best in hockey for the regular season. We'll see how the playoffs shape up if everything goes right. Obviously, you got to go injury luck and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a fun team. We're excited to talk about it this season, but make sure to follow us on Twitter at Clean Sheet of Ice. You'll be entered to win that giveaway for the Wyatt Johnston trading card that I got. I just want to give that away to someone that follows us on Twitter, and make sure to hit that subscribe button on Apollo HOU. Subscribe to Clean Sheet of Ice on any podcast platform as well, Apple, Spotify. I need to see all of that before I give away this Wyatt Johnston card, because it's up on the shelf normally, and I'm willing to give it away as long as you're doing all these little benchmarks. You got to follow us everywhere. Follow me and Dom on Twitter, and be tuned in for Stars heading into October. It's going to be a fun season, but I need that new reverse retro, and I'll be happy. But thank you to our sponsor, Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. It's America's #1 Bloody Mary mix for a reason. It's the best. They got Michelob mix. They got margarita mix. They got the ready-to-drink cans. You throw a koozie on it after having it in the cooler or in the refrigerator. You're good to go in the Texas heat. You're going to be just fine with Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Zang responsibly. Dom, thank you for joining me, and we'll be back very, very soon with another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice, Texas Hockey Podcast.